You guys, I honestly had no idea the mica was going to do that. Oh, that's amazing. Hey guys, Megan here. Thank you for joining me today. If you are confused, I just want to remind you that you are at one of my 3 channels. I decided to split up the channels to cover all of the different topics that I like to do, and this is my DIY crafting channel, so thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be making a super cute Halloween chessboard that glows in the dark, and if you notice, this board is actually pretty thin. It's going to require a little bit of extra thought behind it because, as you can see, these grids aren't very deep. So what we're going to be doing is a mixture of different colors for the chalkboard and the chess pieces, and I'm going to be using some pretty cool glow-in-the-dark paint too to see if this works right with resin. So what I'm using for this are black, green, glow-in-the-dark green, purple for the board, and then orange and green mica. So first let's start with the board, and I'm going to do about 60 milliliters of UV resin for the one set of grids. Now, I have to warn you that as I'm going through this, you're going to see me kind of do it piecemeal, and that is because to the right of me, I have a grow light for my plants, and it has UV in it, so it's going to be drying this much faster than I need it to. So just FYI, that's why you'll see me kind of stop and start a couple of times. But what I'm going to do first is mix in my glow-in-the-dark resin, or my glow-in-the-dark acrylic paint with the UV resin, and I hope this works right. Let's give it a shot and see how it goes. And again, I'll fast forward through all of this because I know it's not really the most exciting thing to watch me mix resin. So I found the easiest way to do this is just to pour and use a popsicle stick to kind of fill the grids in just a little bit at a time. You don't want to go crazy. In my experience, what I found is that a little drop will go a long way, and then you can just kind of mush it all into the corners. And then if you have to add more, you can, but at least that way you're not dealing with, you know, an explosion. Now, if you do run into an issue where you've overfilled, the best thing I've found to do is use a pipette and just kind of suck up the empty grids. But you'll see in a minute that also for other spills that just won't come up, you can also just use the UV light and then carve them out. But if it's a big spill like this, I like to use my pipettes. And now I'll just use my torch really quickly to get the bubbles out. Now hit it with the UV light. And obviously you can tell this is way sped up. I don't want you to think that it takes this quickly, or it's this quick to dry. It just is not the case. Now, if you get some in the grids that you don't want, what I could use is just a cuticle pusher. And I'm just going to use a little bit of masking tape too, just to get all of the little crumbs out. Okay, now it's time for the purple. And for the purple grids, I'm going to be using the same as before, Let's Resin UV resin, but I'm going to be using some really cool purple shimmer mica. I'll be totally honest, at first I was only going to do green and black for the chessboard, but then the more I thought about it, the more I thought that it's really gonna not look the way I want it to. It's gonna look just sort of like I don't know, it just wouldn't look right. I feel like you need to have separate colors on each of the grids and then a backing to it. I feel like just having one color and then I feel like it just wasn't going to work the way I wanted it to. So that's why I decided to add the purple grids too. Now it's time to add the backing. I'm going to be using a 2-part epoxy for this instead of UV resin, and I'm going to be doing about 200 milliliters, I think I ended up doing. The one that I put in here in the video was not enough, unfortunately. I had to do another batch, so I think I ended up using about 200 milliliters of resin for this. And now one of my favorite black shimmer micas. And I'm going to hit this with alcohol to get the bubbles out. Alright, and now I'm going to let it dry. Come back about 24 hours and let's demold. So there you go. As you can see, it's pretty shiny right under the light from the UV resin. But that's okay. This is going to look really cool once I get the light, once I get this horrible glare lighting off. So here, check this out. Now, it doesn't look like much, but once I hit it with the UV light, that's going to look just as good in the dark once it gets some light, I guess, light charging on it. You know what I mean? So now it's time to make the chess pieces, and FYI, I actually bought a separate set of chess piece molds because I feel like these kits that you get on AliExpress or anything, they never give you the full set. They only give you one set and then you have to do it twice. So I'd rather just buy the extra set and be able to do everything in one go. So for these I'm going to be doing 2-part epoxy. And I think I did about 100 milliliters of each. I started with 60 and that wasn't enough, so I ended up with about 100 milliliters to do each color. And these are the micas I'm going to be using. Orange and green. One thing I want to tell you is that these molds are really tricky to keep air out of, and it's especially difficult to keep to get a good pour in these molds if you aren't paying attention. So what I like to do is pour a little bit in and then try and burp it by pinching the head. And I'm clearly not showing you a good version of this. Let me try on the second one. Oh, here you go. So you can see I just kind of burp it and try and get the air out. You can also try and do a side pour too, but I feel like with these molds, they're so tiny, it's just easier to try and burp them. So you can see I fill it up a little bit just to make sure that I get enough for the top to be okay, and then burp it. And just pinch the head until the bubble comes up. Then I know that I've done the best job I can. You can also kind of tap it against the table if that's helpful too. And now for the green, I'm gonna be honest, I ended up using a pouring cup that I already had used and had some black chunks in it, but I actually liked that idea. I thought it would be a cool kind of grungy look to the green to have a little bit of black speckle in it. So FYI, it's one of those happy accidents. All right, I'm just gonna top these off and then let them dry for 24 hours. Okay, time to demold. And these, I'm not gonna lie, these molds are tricky to get right. You've gotta really both be aggressive and gentle at the same time. It's really difficult. So don't worry if you find like these are a pain in the butt. I think they're a pain in the butt too. But we suffer for our art, don't we? Oh, okay, let me slow this down and show you what happened. Looks like I still got an air bubble in this, and it happens. So what I like to do for this, since this is just for me, all I'm going to do is use some jewelry glue, E6000, and just glue the head back on. If I was selling this, I would probably just redo the piece, but like I said, it's for me, so just gonna put a little dab of glue on here and connect the head, and then just let it sit to the side. And you'll see I have to end up doing that a couple of times for the rest of this. Oh, little tip for you. If you want to know how I store these molds, I got this bin at the dollar store, at Dollar Tree, I think, and it is so helpful. I never have resin stick to it, and it's an easy way to just keep all of these pieces together. It was $1. Can't beat it. Here we are, the big reveal. Okay, so I showed you the chessboard. Now let's add all the pieces to it. And there you go. I am so happy with how this turned out. Let me turn it and so you can see it up close. Oh, so cool. This turned out so great. You guys, I honestly had no idea the mica was gonna do that. Oh, that's amazing. Yes. I didn't know it was glow-in-the-dark mica. And I didn't even add the glow-in-the-dark paint to it. Oh, I'm so happy. The orange doesn't do it quite as well, but look at that green. Oh, I'm so happy with how this turned out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.